Hi everyone, today Sam is going to talk about Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, his whole life in short story form. Enjoy every moment of the video, and don't forget to subscribe and like our channel.
Of strong, of power, of dignity, of freedom for Africa. Africa for Africans. The land of Africa is for Africans everywhere.
Muammar Mohammed Abu Minya Gaddafi was born on June 7, 1942, in a Bedouin tent near the remote desert town of Sirte, Libya. His early life was shaped by poverty, tribal traditions, and the lingering scars of Italian colonial rule. Gaddafi's family belonged to the Khadhafa tribe, a small but fiercely independent clan that resisted foreign domination. His father, a simple goat herder, struggled to provide for his family, but young Gaddafi was bright and ambitious. He attended a local Quranic school before moving to Saba for secondary education, where he first encountered the revolutionary ideas of Arab nationalism. Inspired by Egypt's Gamal Abdel Nasser, Gaddafi dreamed of freeing Libya from its weak monarchy, which he saw as a puppet of Western powers. By his late teens, Gaddafi was already a rebel at heart. He organized student protests against King Idris I's government, which he viewed as corrupt and subservient to foreign interests. In 1961, he enrolled in the Royal Military Academy in Benghazi, where he formed a secret group of young officers who shared his vision of overthrowing the monarchy.
You are the master of your continent. You are free in your continent. In this historical day, you are strong now. We are marching to the glory, forward, to the progress. Our brother, my brother.
Gaddafi's early years show how hardship and nationalist fervor can forge a revolutionary, turning a poor desert boy into a man obsessed with power and defiance. On September 1, 1969, while King Idris was receiving medical treatment abroad, Gaddafi and his Free Officers movement launched a nearly bloodless coup.
You are the master of your continent. You are free in your continent. In this historical day, you are strong now. We are marching to the glory.
The takeover was swift and efficient. Gaddafi's forces seized control of key military bases, radio stations, and government buildings with minimal resistance. By dawn, Libya was in his hands. At just 27 years old, Gaddafi became the youngest head of state in the world, declaring Libya a Jamahiriya, a state of the masses.
Our brother, my brother Nelson Mandela, my brother Mbeki, forgive my brother Mugabe, forgive the whites. They are poor. You are your master. They are your.
He immediately expelled American and British military bases, nationalized Libya's oil wealth, and poured money into schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. For many Libyans, especially the poor, Gaddafi was a hero, a leader who stood up to the West and redistributed wealth. But beneath the surface, his regime was already showing signs of repression. Political opponents were arrested, dissent was crushed, and power was concentrated in his hands. By the 1970s, Gaddafi had developed his own political ideology, outlined in his Green Book, which rejected both capitalism and communism. The Green Book was Gaddafi's attempt to create a third universal theory, a system beyond democracy and dictatorship. He claimed it was a form of direct democracy, where people ruled themselves through local councils. In reality, these councils were controlled by his revolutionary committees, which spied on citizens and eliminated opposition. Gaddafi's rule became increasingly bizarre. He surrounded himself with female bodyguards, dressed in elaborate robes, and delivered rambling, hours-long speeches.
Forward. Great leader, Muammar Gaddafi.
He saw himself as a philosopher king, a leader not just of Libya but of the entire Arab and African world. He funded rebel groups from Northern Ireland to Palestine, earning the nickname Mad Dog of the Middle East from US President Ronald Reagan. When a leader believes he is above all laws, his rule becomes a mix of madness and tyranny. In 1988, Libya was linked to the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland, killing 270 people. 4 years, Gaddafi denied involvement, but evidence pointed to Libyan intelligence agents. The United Nations imposed crippling sanctions, isolating Libya from the world. By 2003, facing economic collapse, Gaddafi admitted responsibility, though he never personally confessed and paid billions in compensation to victims' families. In a surprising twist, Western leaders like Tony Blair and Silvio Berlusconi welcomed Gaddafi back into the international community, eager for Libya's oil. For a brief moment, it seemed Gaddafi had reinvented himself as a reformed statesman. But many believed it was just a tactical retreat. Tyrants may compromise when weak, but they never truly changed. In February 2011, the Arab Spring reached Libya. Protests erupted in Benghazi, and Gaddafi vowed to crush them like a rat. His forces opened fire on unarmed demonstrators, sparking a full-scale rebellion. As cities fell to rebels, NATO intervened with airstrikes. By August, Tripoli was captured, and Gaddafi went into hiding. On October 20, 2011, rebels found him cowering in a drainage pipe in his hometown of Sirte.
The Western world have called you a terrorist, Colonel Gaddafi.
Your government is a terrorist government. Reagan is the biggest terrorist in the world. You are far from the civilization. We are a nation of civilization.
Cell phone footage captured his final moments, beaten, stabbed, and shot in the head. His body was dragged through the streets and displayed in a meat locker for days. No dictator dies peacefully. Those who rule by violence often meet the same fate. Gaddafi's death left Libya in chaos, a fractured nation still struggling to recover. Without his iron grip, Libya descended into civil war, with rival militias, Islamist groups, and foreign powers fighting for control. The country that once had Africa's highest standard of living became a failed state, plagued by lawlessness and extremism. Some in Africa and the Arab world still see Gaddafi as a martyr, a leader who defied the West. Others remember only his brutality. The legacy of a dictator is never simple, but one truth remains: power seized by force is always lost the same way.